This is Couples Court with the Cutlers.
This is the case of Hendricks versus Hendricks. You all have been together for 10 years and married 8 years.
Yes.
Mrs. Hendricks, why have you brought your husband to court today?
Because I feel that he's been cheating, and if he is, I'm done.
You look like you're already hurting. Tell me about that. How are you feeling?
A lot of animosity, a lot of anger and hate.
All right, Mr. Hendricks, what are you here for?
Here to prove to her I ain't done nothing wrong and I'm not a cheater.
And you understand what is at stake. She is saying if she finds out otherwise, she's out.
Oh, I'm perfectly aware of what's at stake. We have children, a house, a marriage, an entire life.
And you're planning to save that today?
Yes.
You better, me and the kids are leaving, and there's the girls and then the baby. I mean,
You're expecting?
yeah, I'm
Oh
6
my.
months.
It's our first son, Your Honor.
So there's a lot on the line.
Yeah, I'm just to the point where I want to get closure on it so I can get over it to make me and my kids' lives better with or without you.
When you do look at it, what is it that you see?
I feel like I gave my life to somebody who didn't care.
What do you see when you look at her?
Perfection.
Wow.
Even on best days, nothing but perfection.
So you still feel the same about her as you did when you first got together?
As a decade ago, yes, sir.
What did you see in him when you first got together?
He was amazing. I mean, he's an amazing father. My 13-year-old, she asked him if she could call him daddy, and he said yeah, and a lot of guys aren't comfortable with that.
Right.
He eventually ended up adopting her 4 years ago yesterday, in fact.
Oh. He sounds like the perfect guy. Where did this go wrong?
He has an ex that was a mutual friend of ours. In fact, the day that I brought him over there to her house, we were picking her up. She had been drinking the night before. Well, she covers up her head. She said, "What's his name?" And I said, "Chris Hendricks." And she's like, "Oh my God, I had a past from like way back in high school with him."
Okay.
About a week after he proposed to me, she calls me up and she said, "You'll never know how he feels because he's never going to tell you." And I said, "Excuse me? Well, what are you talking about?" She says, "Well, you know, whenever he proposed to you, it should have been me." I said, "Excuse me? That was almost 20 years ago."
Is this ex still in love with you?
Obviously, yes. I got a lot of them.
Oh,
A
no.
lot of exes or a lot of exes that are still in love with you?
I got a lot of exes and they're still in love with me.
That's not a lie. They contact him all the time. I mean, there's
No.
another time I called his job and a woman was like, "Well, who is this?" And I said, "Well, his wife." And she said, "What? He has a wife?" And she slams the phone down. He gets on the phone. He actually tells me not to call his job and tell them that I'm his wife. You still to this day have never explained that to me. And that was within the first year we were married.
It's a chef thing.
All right, so you're in the kitchen, you're cooking food, so why can't people know that you're married? Why can't
Because he's
people know you're
legally
married?
separated in every job that he works.
The fellow cooks know I'm married, just not the waitstaff.
Why?
Because they could take their aggression out on you, and if they don't think that you're married, you can make their night easier by flirting with them.
This is preposterous. I just...
Thank you.
That is just... And I cannot believe that every chef in the world is not married or is playing like they're not married so that the wait staff will get along with them. It's just unacceptable.
One of his family members told me that she actually seen him walk a woman out about 2 o'clock in the morning and kiss her.
Never happened.
Which part? That you didn't walk her out or you didn't kiss her?
I didn't walk anybody out.
So what happened? Why is she saying this occurred?
I have no idea.
He has a problem with the truth and
But it's your
honesty.
family member that told her that.
They don't like us together to begin with.
All right, so you deny that you were kissing on this woman.
Yes, sir.
You did not even be walking a woman out.
Didn't walk anyone outside.
Okay, well,
didn't walk
what
anybody
about whenever your ex that I was telling you about earlier, well, a mutual friend of mine and hers had passed away, so I went and picked her up to go to the funeral with me.
Okay, so wait. You picked her up, took her to the funeral. Did she stay in your home?
She stayed at my mother's home, yes.
Okay.
We lived there because my mother is disabled, so we lived there taking care of her. And I went outside to smoke. She was in the shower whenever I left. Whenever I came back in, she was naked on the bed, and Chris was in there. He was turned towards the window, but you know how easy is it to flip around? You know, for all I know, the story that I got from her was he was trying to get an erection and he couldn't because he was afraid I was going to walk in like I did. And he turned around to button up his pants.
Didn't happen either.
Well, Mr. Hendricks, why is there some naked woman in the room where you are other than your wife?
She invited her to stay. She's the one that jumped out of the shower and came into the same bedroom we were staying in.
Why were you in there, though? Why didn't you leave the room?
I was already there. Why do you think I was turning?
Why didn't you leave the room?
Man,
I mean, if there was a naked man on the bed with me or in the room, I'm pretty sure there would have been fights.
She was in a towel at first.
Okay. If she was in the towel at first, where was the towel when I walked in for
Ask
one?
her. She
All right,
took it off.
hold on. Why didn't you just leave the room?
I was in shock and awe about, hey, she
If you
came
were
out of the
facing
shower.
the doorway, you would have been facing me. There wouldn't be an issue.
How long were you in the room with her naked?
Oh, maybe 10, 15 minutes tops.
Thank you.
10 to 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, no.
10 or 15?
No, you couldn't be. Not 1 minute, not 1 second. That's
I thought it was
unacceptable.
going to say 10 to
you.
15 seconds.
Seconds, yes. Like she drops her towel, you go out.
And then
She was sitting on
so
my
just
bed
come-
naked.
Okay, so you're telling me that a woman who has feelings for you is on your bed naked, and you're in the room with her 10 or 15 minutes.
Yes.
And nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
She just laid down on the
She
bed.
just laid there. I turned around. She took the towel off. I just kept forward. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
So she's laying on the bed. You're standing looking out the window, facing away from her, just standing there for 15 minutes?
Yeah.
That
Really?
is so
I
bizarre.
didn't know what to do.
This does not add up at all.
That's how it went. I mean, it don't sound right. It was
Okay,
a
well,
bad
what about the
judgment on me for
Facebook
staying.
messages I get from other women from your Facebook that come to my phone because it's set up that way?
That you pretend to be me because I don't
Yeah,
get on
I do
Facebook.
pretend to be you because it's happened before. I have evidence.
All right,
I
Rob,
have
would you
messages,
please bring that?
evidence.
Okay, so you're on Facebook pretending to be him?
Because I get a message from
All the
somebody
time.
that says that she works at the casino with him. She's talking about how she's imagining him nude and how sexy he is, and she can't tell him that because she's shy.
So in this text message exchange, there's another woman, and she's texting who she
There
believes...
are 2 different Facebook messages there from 2
Yeah.
different women.
Okay.
So the
And so-
first one is between the woman, and she believes it's Mr. Hendricks, but it's actually you.
Yes.
So she says, I try to undress you with my eyes.
You know I'm married, right? LOL.
And then the other woman says, I thought you were legally separated.
Every
Okay.
time. I've heard that probably 6 different times.
So, Mr. Hendricks, why is there a woman out there who thinks that you're legally separated from your wife?
It was child support papers I got served with, and the sheriff said that I was separated, and when they brought it in to me, everybody thought I was separated, so I just went with that.
Did you think you were separated?
No,
Were you acting like you were separated?
I've never told anybody I was separated.
There is another message here from another woman.
Yes.
She writes, I liked you, but you hurt me.
Huh? How?
And she says, you messed around with me, plus you said, I am growing feelings.
You were growing emotional feelings for another woman.
Yes.
Okay, so now you understand why I'm like, you telling your coworkers I'm single or not telling them you're married, this is what happens.
I actually went on about having about, I don't know, a 30-minute conversation with her. And she was telling me about my daughter and how beautiful she was and how she looked just like him. And
Did you call her up or did she call you up?
No, it was all on Facebook, so she
Okay.
had no idea that it was not him.
So this 30-minute conversation that you have,
She thinks it's
she
him.
thinks it's him.
Yeah.
I don't even know about these messages until she decides to get mad enough to tell me about them.
You didn't know.
Nope.
I called you and I told you I was getting ready to go meet her at the bar, and if you didn't want me to go to jail, you better show up there, so you did. Along with another one of my family members who picked up our kids in case I did go.
Okay,
she said-
talk to us. Talk to us. She thinks she's going to meet Mr. Hendricks
Yes.
at the bar.
Yes,
Okay, so
for
you
drinks.
get to the bar and what happens?
He won't go inside. I go in and I sit by her. She's sitting here texting me the whole time. Are you going to come out? Are you going to come out? I'm on my second drink. Are you in the smoke area? Everything like that. And I was like, no, I'm outside. I just said, you come outside. Well, she starts walking outside to her car. And I go outside and I say, are you looking for somebody? And she said, yeah, I'm here to meet one of my coworkers. I said, are you talking about my husband that's standing right over there?
Oh, I was right there because ain't nothing going on with this chick.
And what
And
did
what
she
did
say?
she say?
She just kind of looked shocked. She didn't say anything to me, and she looked at him. She said, "What the?" And I said, "Yeah, what's going on?"
Did she know he was married?
She said, "I thought you were legally separated because that's what's going around the casino."
So mind you, though, all of this is because you won't tell folks on the job you're married.
I tell certain people I'm married, but certain people I just let it be. But this chick here, man, she made the whole relationship thing up anyway. I've walked in there with my ring on. She knows I'm married.
So it's your testimony that in spite of all of this, you have never physically cheated on your wife.
Not except for that emotional relationship that I had. That was
And who
one-
was-
that was a kiss
don't
once or
lie. I was
twice.
going to say, don't lie, because you've admitted.
We had
kissing.
kissed once or twice, but everybody else I've never touched. Because
So
every
the
time,
last
every
quote-
time
one
I
of the-
would come home from work, she'd spend more time on her phone. There was no communication. So I got communication
Okay,
from
my
a female
grandpa
at work.
just died.
Wait, Miss Hendricks.
We would sit here and we would, chit-chat and conversate on our smoke breaks at work. More and more and more. I got less communication with her. She was always on her phone and all that kind of crap, yelling at me, yelling at the kids. Me and her spent more time on our breaks. I wound up kissing her once or twice. It ended right there.
And so that's the only
That is
cheating
the only
that you've
time.
done. And so what you're saying is the reason you did it is because you weren't getting the appropriate attention at home.
She cut me off.
I don't want to talk to him because, and I told him, it's because I can't stand to talk to him. Sometimes I can barely look at him. I mean.
All right, turn to him and say, you make me feel like this.
You make me feel sick. I don't feel like you love me. You sit there and you talk about me being on my phone all the time, but I mean, where do you say, hey, you want to go do something? You want to talk? I mean,
I've tried that. You ignore me.
I do not.
You
I
sit
can
there like
ask
the kids
you-
can come up and ask you a question.
You
You
don't
don't
even
hear
go to
them.
sleep with me anymore. You play your Xbox all the time.
Yeah, 'cause
until like 4 in the morning.
You play on your phone until your eyes start to close, then you go to bed.
Because I don't want to talk to you.
Well, maybe I need to work on it.
You do, because it hurts real bad.
You need to work on things as well, though.
All right, to get to the bottom of this, the court has retained the services of a licensed private investigator. Ron, would you please show Ms. Jane Holmes into the courtroom?
Yes, Sean.
Ms. Holmes, how are you?
Great.
Good to see you.
Ms. Holmes.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Ms. Hendricks believes that her husband is having an affair. In this case, in connection with the Hendricks, what did you do?
I went undercover with Mr. Hendricks here yesterday, and we sat in a room. I was pretending to be a litigant that was getting ready to have a lie detector test. I was trying to gain his trust so that he would either admit or deny his allegations of infidelity.
What, if anything, did you learn from your time with Mr. Hendricks?
Well, I spent a good amount of time with him speaking in the room, and I was trying to analyze his verbal language as well as his body language. We did a video, as you can see. He's sitting in an open stance in the room, which indicates to me that he really has nothing to hide. He seemed very open and honest and forthcoming.
In addition to your interview with Mr. Hendricks, he was given a lie detector test. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Right. And Mr. Hendricks was asked, has he had any sexual contact or intercourse with a woman he had an emotional affair with? What was his response to that question?
He responded no.
What did the lie detector determine?
The lie detector determined that he was being truthful.
Thank you. Wanted to get that out. That's been a big shadow over this marriage, and she just found out I'd never touched her.
Well, we have a couple more questions. Mr. Hendricks was also asked, has he had sexual contact or intercourse with 2 of his coworkers? What was his response?
He responded no.
What did the lie detector determine?
The lie detector determined that he was being truthful.
And the final question, Mr. Hendricks was asked, had he had sex with his ex? What was his response?
His response was no.
What did the lie detector determine?
The lie detector determined that he was being truthful.
What do you want to tell your husband?
I'm sorry.
Almost a decade together. You think I'd give it up that easy? Flirting's one thing. I'd never stab you in the back that way.
And I do love you. You know that.
I love you. You and the kids are my life.
Mr. Hendricks, I feel you feeling this.
I feel everything. I just got a thick shell when it comes to showing it. This is what I came here to prove.
Break that shell and tell her how you feel right now.
I want to go home and be happy. Start all over.
I do too, more than any.
You all have been dating for 3 years. You're living together. And Mr. Baker, you have opened this case with some very serious allegations. Tell us why you're here.
Your Honor, I'm here to see if she has actually slept with my son. And
Your son?
My oldest son, Sam, and other men. I love her. I'm in love with her. I just need this so we can move forward.
That is a serious allegation. Miss Johnson, why are you here?
To prove that I haven't, because it has taken 3 years of back and forth that he has not got the point that I've never cheated on him and wouldn't do that, especially not with his son. I love this man and I want to spend the rest of my life with him.
Miss Johnson, I gotta tell you, this is so egregious. How are you feeling about living under this thunderstorm cloud?
And that's exactly what it is, because almost every day it's a new accusation. And I've not dealt with it well, not at all.
Tell
but
me
like I said, I
tell
love
me what
him.
you're dealing with.
My whole lifestyle has to change. Like from the point of everything I do, I have to look at how he would perceive it.
And you've asked how she's dealing with
Right.
it. How is he dealing with this?
Oh, I want to know.
To think that your girlfriend is sleeping with your son, I can't even imagine how that feels inside.
It actually hurts because we were really, really close. And he used to live with me.
So you've got 2 relationships that are at stake here. Your relationship with your son and your relationship with Miss Johnson.
Yes.
All of that
Yes, Your
is
Honor.
on the line right now.
Yes.
How did you 2 meet?
We actually met at a country concert. And
Okay.
lady beside her was talking to her, and the lady kept saying, he's looking at you, he's looking at you. And I was looking out the window. She just happened to be right in view with a...
Now, Mr.
Are you
Baker,
sure you
were
weren't looking at her?
Were you looking at
I
her?
was. I've watched her since the moment she walked in the door.
See, it's kind of that sly thing where you kind of look, but you don't want her to know you're looking, but you're looking.
Yeah, but she knew he was looking.
Yeah.
Did you know he was looking at you?
Oh, yeah, and I was looking at him, yeah.
Yeah.
see-
So women know. We know. Even though
Yeah.
you think you're trying to be slick, we know.
So you're looking at her, you see her, and what's going through your mind when you first see her?
I would like to get to know her. We exchanged numbers. She called it to make sure I was giving her the right number.
I took his phone. I took his phone from him and put my number in there.
Okay.
I was
And
the aggressor on that one.
She wanted to make sure she had the right number. About 2 weeks later, I called her up, met her, and we've pretty much been together ever since.
What were you attracted to?
She's beautiful. Her personality, I mean, she's funny. She keeps me laughing. She always wants to touch me, which I've never been used to, which is wonderful. And I mean, she's a great person. Her son's great, and I love him to death. I mean, I want to be around him for the rest of my life. And this really determines whether we can move forward.
Well, what did you see in him? Because I noticed from the court papers there is a 6-year age difference.
He gave me no choice but to fall in love with him. He was such a gentleman. Anything, he said everything perfect. I was at his house, he would beg me to spend the night, and then it wasn't a night, it was a week. And then I had to have surgery, and he completely took over. Basically moved me in that week when I had to have surgery to take care of me. It's everything, he is a wonderful man. He really is.
Okay, so my question is this. We go from making sure numbers are right so you can be in contact to you accusing your girlfriend of sleeping with your son. How do we get to that point?
I was out on the porch smoking one day.
Okay.
And they were in the living room, which is right outside. And I walked back in, and her skirt was up, and they were sitting there watching TV, and I'm like, I walked in and I stopped, and I said, what are you doing?
To who?
To Nicole.
No, that's not how that happened.
So you're outside taking a smoke, you come back in, and they're sitting on the
She has a long dress
sofa
that comes
together.
down to her ankles, and I walk in, and it's up around her hip, and I'm like, what are you doing?
So this is not.
No.
So, Mr. Baker, this is not like a short skirt that maybe came up a couple of
No,
inches.
sir. It
maxi
was
skirt.
it was a blue dress. I remember exactly what it was.
And when you walked in, what the scene that you saw made you say, "Hey, what's going on here?"
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Johnson?
Thank you. Okay, this is nothing like it happened, and he remembers so well. It's not. I don't even have a blue long skirt like that. Okay, so it was about 100 degrees outside. Our air conditioner would freeze out, so it would be hot as can be. He was at work and coming home. The love seat and the couch were kind of like an L shape. I was sitting here. His son was sitting there. Okay, my skirt is peach. It's like an orange and floral, and it comes down to my ankles. It does. I was sitting on the couch, and I had it up to my knees. I don't show my body off, so I had it up to my knees. That's it. Up to my knees because it was so hot.
Mr. Baker, you said you walked in. Did you ever ask your son directly, did you sleep with Miss Johnson?
Yes, Your Honor. And he told me no.
What was his reaction to you asking him that question?
Usually,
It's okay.
he usually wouldn't look at me if he was guilty, and he usually looks away. If I want to know the truth of something, he'll look straight dead at me and tell me I didn't do it. But he wouldn't look straight at me. He said no, but he wouldn't look directly at me.
because he was too
And
hurt.
so based on your life experience with your son, you believe that he, even though he was saying no, his demeanor said yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
This has got to be destroying you and him, your relationship together.
Yes, Your Honor, it is. I love him to death. I'll do anything for him. And it determines a lot.
Fathers know when their sons are lying.
True.
Especially when you have a relationship with the son. You can look at it, you know what they do, you know how they act, and you could look at your son and you could tell, because you knew him, that he was not telling you the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you know what, Color? I gotta say, I understand that, but we've got 3 boys. And if we asked them anything like that, I think they would be so uncomfortable that the conversation was taking place. I don't think they could look at you. I think they would be just like, oh my God.
But as a father, I know the difference between uncomfortability and I'm caught. And that's what Mr. Baker is saying he saw.
Well, there's the father side, there's the girlfriend side, and there's the son side. And we have him here testifying today. Joining us from his hometown is Samuel Joseph Baker. How are you, Mr. Baker?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm great. Your father is here and Miss Nicole Johnson are here.
What is your relationship to Miss Johnson?
It's my dad's girlfriend. I met her early on in the relationship. I actually moved in a month after they were together.
And what was your relationship like with your dad before Miss Johnson?
I could tell him anything. He was my best friend, and he always knew how to listen.
So you all had a close, warm relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
And you could tell him anything that you needed to tell him?
Yes.
Your father is here and he's in tears in the courtroom, which makes me want to ask, what is the status? What is your life with your father like now after these accusations?
Far from where we used to be.
Have you had much contact with him?
Over the years, not really.
Your relationship has been destroyed because he thinks you're cheating with his girlfriend.
That is correct.
Mr. Baker, tell your father what this has done to you.
It makes me kind of feel alone. I used to have a good best friend that I could talk to no matter what, but I don't have that anymore.
Tell me about the first time that he accused you of cheating with her.
I was hurt. I mean, who asked their son if you slept with their girlfriend?
Tell your son why you made these allegations.
I just remember all the conversations of how we would sit down and talk about the sex you've had, or any conversation that we wanted to talk about, we could talk about. And some of the things that you would say, and you would feel like you're on top of the world, and it just seemed like that day that when I walked in, something had happened.
And you believe that something had been with Miss Johnson?
Because I was there.
Have you ever slept with Miss Johnson?
No, never. I'm sorry, but I don't really find her attractive.
I'm okay with that.
I know this has not been easy for you, and just watching you suffer and watching him suffer has made her
Because I
tear
hate
up.
that I hate that happened to the relationship. And because it was because of me in a way, but it wasn't. I hate that he let that happen. That's his son. And I'm his girlfriend, but his son comes first and should come first always. And I just hate that this has come between them and that I've played a part somehow in it.
But what's it doing to your relationship? What kind of strain is that putting on your relationship?
Really big one every day.
Mr. Baker?
I mean, I honestly feel like it continues. Past that point after he moved out, I think she honestly moved on to other men. I actually have evidence, Your Honor.
Okay.
Let's see it.
Would you step to the monitor?
Your Honor, we were moving back together. I was supposed to pick her up around 7:30 that morning. I was early, I was sitting out on my truck, and she texted me and asked me, could we move it to 8:30?
I just wanted to sleep more.
And I said, too late. I'm already here. And the next thing I know, as I'm getting out of my truck, I notice a man's hand open the blind in her bedroom window and look out. And then a couple minutes later, I hear footsteps in the backyard. I mean,
So you hear somebody walking in the
you
back?
can hear any footstep or anything in the backyard. It's
Okay.
flat full of leaves.
Okay, you can step back to your podium, sir. Thank you.
Now, can I say what really happened?
Well, I want to be
Okay.
clear. You believe that a man was in the bedroom with your girlfriend and you could hear him walking away.
Your Honor, her fingers are not that big. She has tiny fingertips.
All right, Miss Johnson, did you have a man in your bedroom?
No. Okay, so I had all our stuff packed. So when he said he was already there, I pull down, I see that it's him.
Your Honor, I was halfway
me-
up the driveway.
To me, I'm happy because he's here. And then the whole thing where he's saying he heard somebody. My parents feed the neighborhood cats. There has
So
to be
it
30
could have
cats.
been cats back
30
there.
cats at any given time in that backyard.
Okay, Ms. Johnson.
That's where they
Ms.
live.
Johnson, look. I think we've heard enough evidence.
Thank you.
What we have is a serious allegation. Mr. Baker believes that Ms. Johnson is sleeping with his son. And Mr. Baker believes that there was a man in her bedroom when he came to pick her up. He saw the man pull the blinds down and heard him leaving out of the back of the house, walking on the leaves. And all of this has led him to believe that she's cheating with his son and with other people. And if he finds out that she's cheating, this relationship with her and with his son is going to be over.
And as a result of this court has done a complete investigation. At this time, the court would like to call licensed polygraph examiner Tommy Platt to determine, is she cheating? You conducted a polygraph examination of Ms. Johnson, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you share for the court record your credentials?
I have been a licensed polygraph examiner for over 10 years and conducted nearly 3,000 polygraph examinations.
Well, we need your expertise today.
Yes, ma'am.
You asked Ms. Johnson, did you sneak another man out of the house the day Mr. Baker picked you up from your parents' house for breakfast? What was her response?
She stated no.
What did the lie detector determine?
The lie detector determined that she was being truthful.
Ms. Johnson, I see somewhat of a smile on your face.
This is probably the most serious question we're going to ask today.
Ms. Johnson was asked, Have you ever had sexual intercourse with your boyfriend, Mr. Baker's son, Samuel Joseph Baker? What was her response to that question?
She stated no.
What did the polygraph determine?
The polygraph determined that she was being truthful.
Mr. Baker, your son is with us again. Is there anything that you want to say to him?
Son, I am sorry that I accused you, and I hope we can get back to being best friends.
Yes, sir.
I love you, son.
I love you too.
Mr. Baker, this is your chance to say what you want to say to your girlfriend.
I am terribly sorry.
Go ahead.
For all
You
the
all need to
fights.
touch. You all have been together 9 years. You've been married for 5 of those years, but your marriage is literally on the rocks. And the question is, will it survive today? Mr. Coates, would you tell me why you've opened your case today?
I believe she's been cheating on me with a guy. He owns a black truck. She keeps saying I'm paranoid, I'm crazy, this and that, but...
How many black trucks are in Greene County, Ohio?
How many coincidences is
A lot, because I've got an answer for everything and an explanation.
So she's telling you this is all in your head?
Oh, it's not.
He's paranoid.
It's not.
You're saying he's paranoid, and you're hearing that she's saying you're paranoid.
I hear.
But you have this mystery man in a black truck, and you're like, it's too many coincidences involving this.
Too many.
Ms. Coates, you look annoyed.
I'm very annoyed. I've been dealing with this for almost 2 years. It's costed me jobs, friends, family. It's out of control. It's ridiculous. I'm here today to prove myself once and for all that I'm not a cheater, I'm a good wife, and to clear my name, because everybody he tells this story to thinks I'm a cheating liar.
Because it's all true. Everything I say is true.
But Ms. Coates, you're saying it's all in his head.
It is.
That's your
There's an
defense to
explanation for everything that he sees or does or says.
He's just paranoid.
Yes.
So you've accused your wife of cheating on you. What were the warning signs that you saw that made you think something's going on?
I got home from work and there's not footprints, but you know what gets the mud and dirt that dries up underneath, and it had to be boot prints because the mud, dried up mud was so thick. Like it couldn't have been from a regular old tennis shoe, slipper.
No, those are from my slippers because I carried groceries in by myself.
Ms. Coates, hold on. We'll give you a
Slippers
chance.
don't have tread on.
Hold on. So you thought she had a man in the house?
Exactly.
Because those look like tracks from a work boot.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, where did the work boot tracks?
It wasn't a work boot tracks.
Okay.
Outside of our house, it's muddy, there's trees. I carried groceries in by myself. I had slippers that I carried in the groceries with.
Slippers don't have tread on them.
I have 4 kids and I carried them all in by myself. It wasn't tread. They were the little flowers and mud prints that from me carrying the groceries.
It was chunks of dirt.
Okay, why would you track the mud in your house?
I would have had too many bags of groceries carrying it myself. If I was going to cheat, I would have
she
cleaned
couldn't
that up.
kick her
I wouldn't have
slippers
hit it.
off?
I would have cleaned it up and
She ain't even got to bend down and take them off. She can take them off, put them on, ain't even got to bend down.
I'm like, I understand the concept, you've got to take them in, but why would you track mud in? Wouldn't you take them off? Take the clothes in the grocery, take the groceries into the house?
You ain't got to use your hands. You can kick them off.
I don't have nothing to hide, so why am I worried about hiding some mud when I don't have anything to hide?
I'm sorry, are there any other signs that
Yes.
Ms. Coates is cheating?
I was walking down the road. A buddy of mine stopped. I was talking to him. He had a van. I'm talking to him in somebody else's driveway.
Okay.
Well, I seen her coming up at the light. So I walked to the curb. I start waving my hands when she drives by.
Because it wasn't me.
There's a guy in the passenger seat, her driving. You know, I even seen enough of him to where he didn't have a shirt on. He was a tan dude. And I see my kids in the back seat.
I was on the other side of town, dropping my oldest daughter off at her friend's house, and then I was coming to get him. We were not in that area on that day, and there was no man half naked in
She
my
was
front
2
seat
rows
with my
over at
kids.
my son's house at the same
Ms. Coates,
time. What do you mean she
Ms.
wasn't in the
Coates,
vicinity?
Hold on, Mr. Coates. Okay, you're saying he misidentified your car.
Yes.
He misidentified his wife. He misidentified his children.
Yes.
All 3?
All 3.
I might give you 1 or 2, but all 3?
All 3. We weren't even over there. I had all of my kids with me that day. I dropped my oldest daughter off at her friend's and then went to take him food.
Do you know the odds of him misidentifying all three?
Do you know the odds of how paranoid he is?
So why do you think she's cheating now?
I'm not sure right this time, but I know she's been cheating on me for...
I've never cheated on you.
Okay, well, why do you think she has cheated with this mystery man? What you said you had coincidences.
Well,
tell me about that.
There's a, can I show you on the monitor?
Absolutely. Step over to the monitor.
There's this black truck. It's always surrounded by with a black truck.
Okay.
My neighbor sits on her porch all morning, all day long. Every time I've ever left or come home, she's on her porch. So I go over and talk to her. You seen any cars in my driveway while I'm at work? There was a black truck in your driveway with a trailer attached to it, pulled all the way up in your driveway.
And when did she say that truck had been there?
While I was at work in the daytime, around noon.
Okay, so was it that particular day? Or she said, I've seen this on several days, or
She just said
last week?
She said, I've seen a black truck in your driveway. And I don't know anybody with a black truck. I don't have anybody at my house with a black truck, especially with a trailer on it.
Okay, hold on, Ms. Coates, hold on.
And especially while I'm not there.
All right, what else you got?
Well, same black truck.
Okay.
So I'm seeing this black truck at her work every day. I'd leave my work, go on lunch. I'd drive by, that truck would be at her work.
And so now you made it a point to go by her job to see if you see this.
Yes, sir.
If you're at lunch or whether you got to run an errand for your work, you're going by her job to see what you can see, and you're seeing this black truck, the same black truck that you was reported in your driveway is now at her job.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, what else you got?
So after that, I go to pick her up, and I'm sitting there's a gas station right across the street from her work.
Okay.
But I'm out of the way so she don't see me in the parking lot so I can see who's driving this black truck.
Okay.
Woo!
He pulls out of the parking lot, pulls into right in front of me at the gas station, turns his truck off, looks front like this. I can't really see because his windows are tinted, and he had a hat on. That's why I know he looked my way. Started his truck and tore it up out of there, burnt tires, and rolled out. Like he noted, like he didn't want me to see him or something.
As soon as he looked in your direction.
As soon as he seen me in my car, he took off.
All right.
Anything else?
One of my family members told me I could have swore I seen Brandy getting out of a jacked up black truck.
That family member's a liar.
Okay, so did that family member know about your issue with the mystery black truck?
Not with the black truck or nothing.
She just out the blue says this to you?
No, I'm talking to her about me thinking she's cheating on me. I never mentioned a black truck, nothing.
Okay, and she said, well, yeah, I think I saw her getting out of it. You're like, oh, there it is.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, come back to your podium.
All right, Miss Coates.
You've been biting at the bit.
Oh, yeah.
All right, this black truck, this mystery black truck.
I wish I knew who drove that damn black truck.
Well, we want to know from you who drives the black truck.
I don't know. I wish I knew.
But he's at your job every day.
I am a tax professional, okay? I don't have time to talk on the phone, let alone get up and down and go see who's out in my parking lot.
But Ms. Coates, you said he misidentified his car, his kid, his wife, and now you're saying out of the 4 times that he saw this black truck in areas where you were, you're saying, nope, wasn't me, wasn't me,
I have no idea who drives
wasn't me.
Her answer
don't
is,
know
what do you want
who
me to
drives
do
the black
about
truck,
it?
don't know what black truck he's talking
and
about.
And the neighbor, she ran over to me that day. Like I told Eric, there was a truck in the driveway, and at that same time, one of our family members pulled up, and she said, that's the truck I told him it was. And it was one of our family members. No. And he said, no, she said it was black, and she said, no, I told him it was blue.
This is a conversation I didn't hear. Of course, I wasn't there for that one.
Ooh, Cutler, this is a mess.
I know. Mr. Coates, let me ask you this. Has anybody ever told you that she has been with somebody else?
This is where it gets good. My youngest daughter barely knows how to speak, tells me when mommy's friend comes over, they make me go upstairs and watch TV with another family member. Well, a week later, I see my daughter in a new dress. And I'm like, oh, I like your dress, baby doll. Where'd you get that? Because I've never seen it before. She does this. Don't want to look at me and stuff. I was like, it's all right, baby doll. You can tell me. She made me pinky promise not to say nothing to her. said that mommy's friend bought it for me. I said, mommy's friend? Is mommy's friend a guy or a girl? He's a guy.
Well, Mr. Coates, let me ask you this. How does it feel as a father to have your daughter telling you about your wife's involvement with another man? To hear from your daughter.
Low, really low. Really low. Like I'm a nobody.
A horrible wife would cheat. A bad mom would involve their kids in a cheating situation, and I'm neither.
So you're saying again, this is just something all in his head,
Yes,
never
sir.
happened?
Yes, sir.
I see her making up,
Mr.
mommy's
Coates?
with her friend or something like that. We're arguing, whatever, on the phone. She sends me a picture of divorce papers. It's blank, like, you know, keep playing, I'm gonna divorce you, type stuff. Well, we reconciled the day that we was working things out. I looked in her phone, and there was an email with an attachment to it. So I opened up the email, and it was those divorce papers filled out.
They were not filled out.
Filled out, emailed to another guy. Like, to me, that's showing proof that you're about to leave me.
Filled out with your name, her name.
Oh, her name
They were not filled
versus me, all that. On the first page, they got all that. It was all filled out.
And she sent it to another man.
Yes, sir.
And you think that other man might be our mystery
Yes, sir.
black truck
Yes,
driver?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you send divorce papers to another man?
No, I did not. So what had happened was I had already lost my job.
Another story.
So as I was sending my resume out, my phone shows PDFs. It don't show what they are, it just shows PDF. There's 200 resumes I had submitted. It was sent to another man. However, I didn't do it. I think I went to send my resume to him and I clicked the wrong PDF, but they were not filled out.
Okay, but he says they were filled out.
They were not filled out.
Yeah, they were.
So you think you sent your blank divorce papers to somebody from whom you were seeking a job?
Yes, because it just said PDF at the top. It didn't show a
But
picture
the
of
people-
But wouldn't that person have written you back and said, why am I
Not if
getting
they don't
these?
know who I am. I mean, or if they even didn't get them.
That was the only message,
Because the only person I would send them
attachment,
to
the
was
only
him.
thing in there. But when you
No, there
send
was
an
resumes in
email,
there.
if you just send it to the number, it shows up a number. If you send it to somebody that's contacts in your phone, it shows up a
No, it don't. Not
a
an
letter.
email. An
It
email
shows up a
shows
letter.
up their name.
It shows up a letter in the little circle beside the
Yes,
email.
it shows up
Oh,
their
yeah, I
name.
know exactly what you're talking about.
Thank you.
Because the circle was there with his initial in it, he knows that's one of her contacts, and that's why he's saying it wasn't some random person you're trying to get a job from. This was someone you knew, and that's why I think this is the gentleman, the mystery black truck driver. Mr. Cutler?
All right.
I think it's time to wrap it up. I think that if we don't help them get this resolved, they might get the divorce here right in front of us.
Yeah. If it is determined today as a result of today's proceeding that she's cheating, what's going to happen?
Oh, we're done. We are done.
No doubt about it.
No doubt. No doubt. Because if we need mediation for you to tell me the truth, you know, what about the next lie? And then the next one, like, we're going to have somebody intervene to tell me the truth.
Well, at this time, the court would like to call licensed polygraph examiner Kendall Schull to determine, is she cheating? Rob, please escort him in.
Kendall Schull.
How are you, Mr. Schull?
I'm great, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're one of the friends of our court. You have this amazing career that you've had. You spent 35 years at the FBI. You have a master's degree in polygraph examination.
I have.
And you have 18 years in your own private practice providing that.
I do, Your Honor.
So, you conducted the polygraph examination of Ms. Coates, and you asked her, since being married, have you had physical, sexual contact with the person who drives the black truck that your husband saw parked at your job? What was her response?
She said no, Your Honor.
What did the lie detector determine?
The lie detector determined that she was being truthful, Your Honor.
Wait, how are you feeling?
Emotional.
Yeah, it's a lot. Okay.
You say emotional. What's going through your mind right now? What are you feeling right now?
We've been through so much with these accusations. It's ruined our marriage already. And how do you get back from something like that?
This is the first step, though. If we get it all out on the table, you can start anew. I promise you.
But we still have one more question. You asked Ms. Coates, since being married, have you had physical sexual contact with any person other than your husband? What was her response to that question?
She said no.
What did the lie detector determine?
The lie detector determined that she was being truthful, Your Honor.
I told you I'm not a cheater or a liar.
Oh, I do apologize, and I'm very sorry. From the bottom of my heart, I am. Give me a hug. I'm sorry. I am sorry, baby.
You look relieved. You look satisfied.
Oh, I'm very satisfied.
All right,
I
well,
just
let's
feel
talk.
bad.
Oh, and you probably should. But let's talk about that, because feeling bad doesn't move the ball forward, right?
Right.
Ms. Coates, I think the reason there was so much passion involved with this is because you're passionate people.
Very much so.